Hello friends, we are going to learn grammar in a desperate way presented by Benchmark. Don't take English or grammar as a too hard subject. English is a language, not a subject to prepare. Just you need to understand the language. Grammar enhances you to understand it wisely. If you understand language logically, then there is no necessity for grammar to learn. For example, frog bites a snake. Frog is a subject, bites is a verb, and a snake is an object. In this sentence, frog as a subject is third person singular, so the verb follows must be verb plus s form, that is bites, bite plus s, bites form. So, the verb is correct. A snake as an object is also correct, so the sentence is grammatically correct. But logically, the sentence is wrong. It is against the universal truth. So we may not take this sentence as a correct one. So we are going to see the aspects of grammar in a logical way. We are going to deal thoroughly with the topics. Areas of particular difficulty have been given special attention to understand the language easier. Through this video, you are going to learn the strategies of understanding the language rather than learning it. It is hoped that our efforts will find favor for you. First topic is with or without article a before the words little and few. First one, little and a little are used before uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns example, oil, beauty, sand, luggage, water, etc. Second one, few and a few are used before plural nouns. Plural nouns example, people, dogs, boys, salmon, squid, etc. All the four forms, that is little, a little, few and a few, can be used as pronouns either alone or with the preposition of. For example, if you raise a question, do you want sugar? Answer will be a little, please. In this, a little is used alone. One more example, only a few of these are any good. In this, a few is being followed by preposition of. Both the statements are correct. Little and few with the article a. A little. A little refers a small amount, what the speaker considers a small amount. Example, they are able to speak Spanish a little. One more example, he added a little sugar and milk to his tea. Little, when it is used in comparative degree, it must be used as less. A little can be used as adverb. Example, it rained a little during the night. In this, a little refers the verb rained. So, a little is an adverb. A little can be used before unfavorable adjectives and adverb. For example, a little anxious, a little annoyed, a little unwillingly, a little impatiently. Annoyed, anxious, unwillingly, impatiently are unfavorable adjectives. A little can be used before comparative adjectives or adverbs. For example, the paper should be a little thicker. In this, a little thicker is a comparative adjective. It is comparing thickness. Rather could replace a little. Likewise, a bit could be used instead of a little. A few. A few refers a small number. What the speaker considers a small number. Example, we need a few dollars to buy the toys. One more example, a few of the students are ready. In comparative degree, it is used as favor. Adding only before a little or a few. While adding only before a little or a few, it emphasizes that the number or amount really is small in the speaker's opinion. For example, Boston is now a great city, but at the time it was only a little town. One more example, only a few of our customers have accounts. But a few has exception when quite is placed before a few, which means it increases the number considerably. Okay, it doesn't give negative meaning. For example, I have quite a few books on art, which means I have quite a lot of books. Next one, little and few. Little and few denote scarcity or lack and have almost the force of a negative. Little and few are normally replaced by hardly any or negative verb plus much or many. For example, we saw little, which can be replaced by we saw hardly anything or we didn't see much. One more example, tourists come here but few stay overnight, which can be replaced by tourists come here but hardly any stay overnight. Both the statements are correct and there is no error in it. It seems meaningless, but the sentence is correct in grammatical and also in logical. Little and few can be used when they are qualified by the words like so, very, to, extremely, comparatively, relatively, etc. Comparative degree for these words little and few is favor. Example, I am unwilling to try a drug, but I know so little about it. They have too many technicians, we have too few. One more example, there are fewer butterflies every year. In this it is compared with every year, so fewer is used. Next one, little equal to not much. So, it is used before better or more. For example, his second suggestion was little better than his first. That is, his second suggestion was not much better than his first one. Second example, he was little more than a child when his father died. That means he is not much old when his father was died. Next one, little is placed before certain verbs like expect, know, suspect, think. Example, he little expected to find himself in prison. Okay, little is placed before the verb expected. One more example, he little thought that one day. Okay, here little is placed before thought. Okay, we shall see some errors. We shall see some error spotting. Little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Little knowledge is a dangerous thing. It is wrong. Actually, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing is the correct form. Okay, which means little is used in the negative sense of hardly any. Since the sentence here positively states, okay, so a little is the correct adjective. So, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing is the correct sentence. One more example. My friend scored less runs in this match than in the previous one. Okay. My friend scored fewer runs in this match than in the previous one is the correct form. As I said before, for comparative degree or for comparison, for little and few, we have to use fewer. So, statement must be my friend scored fewer runs in this match than in the previous one. Less is comparative degree of little and it represents quantity. Okay. For comparison or comparative degree, fewer is used. So, my friend scored fewer runs in this match. Next one, use of hardly, scarcely, barely. Okay, hardly, scarcely and barely are almost negative in meaning, but hardly is used with any, ever, at all or the verb can. Otherwise, we may not use these words with other verbs or other words. Example, he has hardly any money, which means he has very little money. I hardly ever go out, which means I very seldom go out. It hardly rained at all summer. It hardly rained at all last summer. Likewise, her case is so heavy that she can hardly lift it. Okay, hardly can be used with other verbs. Example, I hardly know him, means I know him only very slightly. If we see the difference of hard and hardly, example, he looked hard at it, which means he stared at it. If we use hardly, he hardly looked at it, which means he gave it only a brief glance. Next one, scarcely. Scarcely means almost not and could replace hardly as we used before. Okay, scarcely can be used as scarcely any or scarcely ever, etc. Scarcely, which means not quite. For example, there were scarcely 20 people there, which means fewer. It is compared, so which means fewer. Next, barely. Barely means not more than or only just. Example, there were barely 20 people, which means only just 20 people there. One more example, I can barely see it, which means I can only just see it. I hope you like this video. Then no further delay, please do like, share and comment. If you think you want to practice and concentrate on English section and score well, make your thinking into action by practicing our ebook titled Top 700 Practice English Questions based on new pattern with detailed explanations. Upcoming videos are going to be more useful, so please subscribe our channel Benchmark IBPS Guide and follow our website www.ibpsguide.com.